Okay, welcome back. Got another story for you. I'm working a gang car in a Hispanic area, and we're wearing suits and ties. My partner and myself, and we hear a radio call. It's not ours. We hear it. It says men impersonating police officers. In law enforcement, that's a very serious call because obviously we don't want phony officers out there because they do a lot of bad things. They steal things. In the Latin area, what they do is they pose as immigration officers, and they fake arrests, and most of the time they wind up taking women away and they rape them. Okay, and that's really a bad thing. And of course they rob the men at the same time, or whatever. So that's an important call for us. So we're about a block away from this call. So my partner's driving, says, we're close, let's go. So we zoom around the corner and come up to this house, and I'll kind of describe everything. It happens fast, but I'll describe it as best I can. It's a house built probably in the 30s, got a 4 or 5 stairs going up to a very large porch, and it's an old home. Not in the days I worked there, people have bought it and rented it out like 6 families, a bunch of different rooms, because it's such a big house, 2-story. And it's got a big oak door in the front, and it's got a little trap door in the big oak door. Everybody knows that. Some of the old days, they had a little trap door. So we get out of our car and run up the stairs, and when we run up the stairs, we see 2 officers in uniform, our officers, standing off to the side. And we walk up and say, what's going on? And they looked at us and kind of looked away, and I'm thinking, what the heck? They haven't put out a broadcast that everything's done, and I'm thinking, where are the guys we're looking for? And they go, we just talked to her. And we go, who? Her, she's in the house. And they just stood there. And I'm going, well, that's weird. So I knocked on the door. About that time, supervisor walks out. Now, everybody here now is Latino. I'm Latino, my partner's Latino, my sergeant who walks up is Latin, and the 2 officers there are Hispanic. Everybody's Hispanic here because it's obviously an Hispanic area and everybody speaks Spanish. So, so I knock on the door, and this little trap door opens up, and a little old lady, probably in her 70s, looks out and sees us. And we're in suits now, and I got my police badge. Man, police. Now, I'm going to translate this to you back and forth, guys, so please bear with me, because there's a lot of Spanish going on here, okay? So we tell her we're police. So she looks us over, she nods her head, closes the door, and opens the door. Now, she's standing in the door. She's probably about this high, 80 pounds soaking wet, and stand next to me and my partner. We're pretty good-sized guys. So I asked her in Spanish, what happened? And she goes, well, I called the police because I have to make a report, and they showed up, and they don't look like police. And I go, oh, okay. Well, did you get a good look at them? Yes. Well, where are they? She goes, well, they're right there. And she points at the 2 guys in uniform. And, and let me back up before I say what happens next. These 2 officers, not very attractive, okay? One looks almost like Frankenstein, and the other one's got a lot of pock marks, and they're not attractive men. Now, I don't really care what anybody looks like, as long as they're a good person. They're cops, they're good people, but they're not very nice looking officers. And so she goes, those guys. And I go, those guys? And she says, yeah. And I go, in Spanish, ma'am, those are officers, police officers. And she puts her arm over my arm, like pulling herself to me, and she goes, so tan feos, okay? Now that's translated into English is, they're so ugly, okay? Oh my gosh, okay? So, and she was so sincere when she said it, and she's looking at him because she's still not sure they're officers, okay? And I go, no, honest, they're officers. She goes, oh, pobrecitos. In other words, oh, that's too bad. I'm so sorry. And I almost exploded. I wanted to laugh so hard. And the officers are standing there. They're only standing like 5 feet away. They heard that. The sergeant heard that. And I go, no, really, we'll have someone come and take a report from her. I think she had like a burger report or something she wanted to do. She goes, okay, thank you. Okay, fine. So won't you go in the house and we'll bring some more officers here. Okay, well, thank you. She thanked us. We're a really nice lady. And she goes in the house and closes the door. So I'm standing there, and we're standing there, and so the sergeant says, I'm going to get somebody else to do this call. And these guys go, okay, thanks, Sergeant. So they walk down the stairs. The sergeant walks down the stairs. We had no radios at those times. We had to go down to our cars. So we're walking down the stairs. We get to the bottom of the stairs, and the two officers look at all 3 of us, and they go, hey, you guys, we'd probably like to keep this kind of a secret, right? Would that be okay? And we looked at each other, and the sergeant looked at us, and we go, oh no, this is not going to be a secret. The sergeant says, this is the epicest, funniest thing I've ever heard in my 20 years as a sergeant. This is hilarious. And now we start laughing because we don't want to laugh in front of the poor citizen. She's traumatized by these 2 gorillas standing there. So we don't laugh in front of her because I wanted to laugh, but I can't. She's a citizen. She pays my salary, so I kept my professional face But now we're just laughing. We walked our car and we were just busting out. Okay, so we leave. Well, our precinct had a caricature drawer, and he liked to draw things. And whenever somebody screwed up, he makes drawings of them. And then what he does is he doesn't make a drawing and just puts it out the front. He makes 100 copies and walks around everybody's locker and every desk and just throws them everywhere so that no one can go walk in there. The party that's involved can walk in there and try to capture all the copies. They're everywhere. They're in the bathrooms. They're everywhere. So the next day, we walked. It was one in our locker. We looked at it. Here's a character drawing of two uniformed officers. The right guy looks like they literally look like Munster, the Munster guy, Frankenstein, bolts in the neck, the flat head with the thing coming down, and the other guy looked like I don't know how to describe it. Pockmarked face, big scars coming down, one across his head, one patch over his eye. Obviously, he little license on the painting, and then on the bottom it said the monster car. Funniest thing you ever saw. Oh my God! And so, okay, that isn't it. We go to roll call next night. 3 o'clock roll call. 40 officers, 45 officers, maybe 8 sergeants, lieutenant. Well, lieutenant wasn't there that night, just a sergeant. And this sergeant looked like Fester, bald-headed guy, a lot of hash marks, been on the job a long time. Doesn't care about anything. This guy doesn't care. He's seen everything. He was a Korean War veteran. He didn't care. So we're roll call. He goes, okay, roll call. He's a senior sergeant. All the other sergeants sitting around. All right, here we go. 827, Jones and Lopez. Okay, 827, Smith and Smith. Okay, monster car, so-and-so, so-and-so. Everybody just stopped and just started, they're in there. They just started laughing. And of course, he stops on purpose, monster car. And I'm sitting there going, I could look away. And then one of them says, hey, Sarge, that's not very funny, okay? And he goes, you know what? That is the funniest effing thing I've ever heard in my entire effing life. And everybody's laughing, okay? So that's the end of that, okay? It ain't over yet. So we finished the roll call. Everybody goes on their way, get in their cars. In those days, each police car had a small speaker on the side inside the car, and that was we called it a cheater. In other words, if a car puts out a broadcast like I'm at First and Main Street, we can hear him say that, just in case the girl didn't hear it downtown, because sometimes the communication in those days, sometimes they missed the call. So it lets us know if someone's in danger, we can roll to it or back them up if we have time. So that night, you have to clear. In other words, you can only ring and say, I'll give a fake number, 827, show us clear. She says, Roger, 827, you're clear, which means she puts us on the board as available for calls. That's how they keep track of these cars all over the place, and that we're alive and well. So you hear the first car go clear, second car goes clear. Guys are leaving the precinct to go out on patrol. Then you hear, I'll make up their number, 827. 827 clear. Then you hear in the cheater box, that's the monster car, okay? You got 18 patrol cars to hear that on there. Everybody's laughing. And then she says she can't understand what that is. She's not in on the joke. So she'll say, "Unit, repeat that, please." Oh my God, we were just laughing. Okay, so all night, this car, you get calls. You get whatever radio calls officers get. Neighbor dispute, whatever. And then when they got a call, she would say, "So and so, you got a call," and they'd say, "825 Roger." And then the next sound you would hear was, okay. So that went on all night. Okay, so then the next day we come to work, and the lieutenant's there, and apparently he's been told that these unauthorized transmissions over the air. Okay, and he's the boss. So he comes to roll call again. He got 45 officers of various descents and ages, and they've been doing this all day. He gets up there and did the wrong thing. Okay, he gets up there and says, "This has to stop." And he gives a speech about how our airwaves are mandated by the federal government and FCC. We can't do improper. We can't use profanity. You can't use unauthorized. And we're all kind of like, we know this. This is just a joke, okay? So he goes, "I want to stop tonight." So then the sergeant that started it, sitting there, he just looks over at the lieutenant like, he just shakes his head because he knows this is the wrong thing to say. Just let it go, okay? It'll go away on its own. No, the first time they cleared, came out of the air all night long again. So that happened for 2 or 3 days, but in our line of work, and I heard firemen are the same way. When you have something happen like this, it's good until the next person screws up. Okay, so you do this for 2 or 3 days. Another officer messes up on something funny or stupid. That's forgotten, and you go to the next one. So this has to kind of just blend out, kind of like throw a rock in a pool, and it starts out high, and then it slowly goes away. This is what happens on these things. So that's what happened on the monster car. Very funny incident. I hope you enjoy it. See you next time.